Everyone, welcome to the Shooting Lone Star with Ram from the Austin Gooners. Hey, bro, how are you?
What's up, bro? Doing good. A little sad that international break. I mean, there's still be some soccer, but football, excuse me, but I'm not a big fan of all the international breaks all the time, but whatever. But time to catch our breath and get ready for the final stretch. So it's gonna be really exciting. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Looking forward to this final stretch, as you say, of the season. 10 games to go now. That's it. The countdown's on. We're into the business end. When we spoke on our last show, it was ahead of the Liverpool game. And, we were worried about the Liverpool game. We know how strong a team they are. And if we got a result there, draw or win, it would have been a bonus. But we knew that, it was going to be really hard. And the main thing was that if we didn't get the points in that one, we had to pick ourselves up and make sure we got the points against Aston Villa. So we did do the second part of that and got the points against Villa. But yeah, let's take a look back now, starting with the Liverpool game. What are your thoughts on that?
Man, I think I even texted you this on WhatsApp after how I was actually really excited about our team. And I think at the time I was a little bit tipsy. I had had a few drinks. I had gotten out of work early to watch the match. But I still feel the same way in hindsight as I actually rewatched the match this past Sunday. Just had a little bit of free time, do it on there, and I thought we played really well. I actually thought we were the better team for most of the match. And a friend of mine who's actually a big United fan, but is also just really plugged into football and just watches every match. He was texting me throughout the game like, you guys are killing it. Like, you guys are the better team right now. And it kind of means a lot coming from somebody like who doesn't always watch Arsenal with like rose-colored glasses, if you will. Like, so it's really cool to have that perspective live. And that kind of shaped the way I was watching the game. I was like, yeah, we were dominating. I mean, I think we kept them to their lowest number of shots for the game at 9. I think that was the final one, and I think we might have had 9 as well. Not quite sure on the let me see what else we had here. Yeah, 9 shots each. Possession was pretty equal. They edged us out 52-48. We had the same amount of big chances. We missed our big chance. We were pretty close as far as everything, as XG, the expected goals. I know they were like at 1.6 and we were at 0.07. So ultimately they edged us out on that one. I'm not too privy on like how important like XG is, but I know that's a good, visual about like how good your attacking is. So yeah, we did good, and even Arteta was, something I agreed with him and what he said. Like, we were good from box to box. Like at the end, like defensively, we were solid. In the midfield, we were holding it down. Thomas Partey again. I think that guy's, is gonna have. He's gonna have his hat in his name in the hat for like player of the year. I think he's really bounced back really well. And he looks really good. And he had an outstanding performance. But once we got into their penalty area, we just couldn't do anything, right? Maybe we had a couple of chances, but Liverpool was good for 10 minutes, and in those 10 minutes they scored 2 goals. And then after that, from the 62nd minute when they got that second goal on, it was kind of, you saw the energy level on our side kind of drop a little bit, to the point where I think, the last 15 minutes I was like, yeah, we're not gonna score a goal. We're not gonna make this exciting at the end. So kind of started to accept the fact that we lost. So it was again a tale of 2 games, man. I mean, we played well for the most part, and ultimately their quality just pushed them through. And there's a reason why they're one of the best teams in Europe, and they're still fighting for a title, for an FA Cup and a Champions League title. So, they can walk away with 3 trophies at the end of the year. It's also like after they scored the first goal, who did they bring on? They brought in Mohamed Salah and Roberto Firmino. So like, come on, man. Like, like you score 2 goals and then you can just bring out the best African player in the world, and Firmino, who's just who's starting on the Brazilian squad. Like, it's kind of it's an embarrassment of riches they have over there, and hopefully that's what we're striving for. But yeah, I mean, going from 4-0 to 2-0, although it sounds like you're kind of coming up with moral victories, but we're cutting we're gaining ground, I think. And yeah, it is what it is. I mean, it's a loss, and then you kind of put it away. What did you think about that match?
Yeah, I thought we battled really hard. It was a
Yeah.
close game. It was like a 50-50 match until the mistake. Big turning point was the chance Odegaard had. If he managed to put that away, it was a great save from their goalkeeper. But if he put that away, it could have been a different game. And unfortunately, we made a mistake on our side. Cedric, we know he is our weak link. Got to give him credit. He's come in and done all right. But in these big games, especially, he got caught out on his side. And then Ramsdale didn't make the save. He should have really saved it. We always say near post, you should be saving shots like that. But can't really get on Ramsdale. He's had a great season for us. And these mistakes happen. These things happen. Unfortunately, happen in this big game. But from that point, once we see the first goal, it's always going to be really hard. Like you said, they're bringing on guys like Salah and Firmino. They just scored and they took off Jota, who was the goal scorer. But so Klopp, obviously, he had his plan. He wanted to bring on Salah and Firmino at that time. And as you're saying, their squad is so strong. And we aspire to get them. It shows we're not that far off. We are not that far off. A few additions to our team. We've got a young team. We're getting better and better. And the signs are good. Disappointing, obviously, to lose that game. But what was really important, though, is how we bounced back.
Mm-hmm.
We did that perfectly against Aston Villa. Got the 1-0 win. We looked really dominant throughout that game. And I was really happy with the performance. What are your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I would have to say the same thing. Great performance by our guys. Another one that a previous Arsenal team would have probably dropped some points. Maybe would have given up, the goal at the end, and would have walked away with 1 point when we should have had 3. And I thought we bounced back pretty convincingly. I think I had mentioned before how Villa at home is kind of a difficult place to play for, and again, a match where you lose a big match like Liverpool and you end up losing, it's a big emotional letdown. I mean, you can even see in the faces of some of the players and some of the posts that you saw on social media, they all looked real sad, and just watching them bounce back was actually very exciting to see. Not only bounce back and end up taking the win, but winning it in such a dominating fashion. I mean, looking up the stats right now, we dominated possession. We had way more on the XG goals, so that apparently that means we had more, bigger chances. 10 total shots. We didn't allow a single shot on goal, I think, until that final corner kick, or at least the free kick at the end. Throughout the whole game, I mean, Leno only had to make 1 save. So credit to him, credit to the whole team. I think they all stepped up and basically closed the book and put it behind them. The Liverpool match, right? You accept the loss, you move on, and you aim to get the next 3 points. And it was evident in the interview with Bukayo Saka at the end. He said something to those effects. He was like, yeah, it was tough, that we couldn't get the win, but we knew we had to bounce back quickly and get the win here at Villa. And then they asked him, like, hey, how are you? What are you thinking about your final or your top 4 chances? And then he reiterated the same thing I love hearing is, one game at a time. We're not there yet. We haven't I guess, accomplished anything yet. So there's still work to be done, and so the mentality is remaining even after a loss. And then I think you think about the times we had, the last few times we've had losses. Think about the Manchester United or Manchester City match, where we ended up giving up a 1-0 win, or we given up a 1-0 lead, losing 2-1, and then had that whole month that was just terrible, right? Even before that, ended up losing to Manchester United 3-2, and then the very next week gave up a really bad loss to Everton. So, it's been in the history, at least this season. It's been difficult to bounce back after a win, and I think the way we bounced back 3 days later, again, after that demoralizing loss to Liverpool, it was great to see us bounce back against Villa the way we did. Could have been another one of those 2-0 wins. I think we should have maybe been a little bit more clinical at the end, but that's going to be the case, I think, for the rest of the season. We're going to have a bunch of nail biters until we get that striker that can actually strike and score some goals. I thought Lacazette definitely didn't have one of his better matches. But this is a third straight match in which he was, playing a bunch of minutes. So, I know we mentioned earlier in the season that expecting more 60 minutes from him is kind of a reach, and we're actually getting a lot out of him in these past few games, and so I think it's really taken its toll. But so in that respect, I think it's good that the international break hit, so it allows someone like Lacazette, who isn't representing his country, allows him to kind of recuperate a little bit and continue sticking around behind the scenes and just putting in the work that's going to hopefully lead to him scoring some goals, as we've been saying every week, but contributing the way we are expecting him to contribute. And again, I'm pointing out Thomas Partey again, another top man of the match type of performance, and that's really great to see him just flourish. I know I just rambled a lot, but it was a really emotional roller coaster, and it was great to see our boys bounce back. What do you think about it?
Yeah, so as you were saying, really good performances from the team to keep Villa, who are a dangerous team, to have so few clear-cut chances. As you said, it wasn't really nothing they did, apart from that free kick at the end. So that's a great performance from the team. You defend as a team, so we give a lot of credit to the defense and goalkeeper this season. But as a team, we're defending a lot better. Everyone's really working hard for each other, and you can see that in the play. Like, to go to Villa and dominate the way we did is not easy to do. So really happy with that performance. In terms of the standout performance, it's got to be Saka, though, for me. Brilliant performance from him again. Really was a threat the whole game going forwards. Got the goal. It was his 10th goal of the season, to go with 5 assists as well now. So
Yeah,
he's really having a great season. Your thoughts on him?
as you said, man. I mean, easy choice. If it wasn't for Thomas, totally give it to Saka, man. That guy is incredible. Star boy. Love watching him play. Love the way he just continues to fight through all the fouls he's getting. And he even mentioned it after the match, how he's starting to kind of hope that there's going to be at least some kind of protection from the referees, right? I mean, some of these guys are, some of their fouling on him is a little bit, I guess the word is cynical. Like, they're just being dicks about it. Like, it's like written in the plan or something, that every so often someone different is going to take him on, and they're going to figure out a way to just foul the shit on him. But he continues to get back up and continue playing. I just hope long term, maybe I don't know how he adjusts his game, or if he's going to get some kind of star treatment from the refs like he is from the players. Like, the players, he's getting that star treatment. Like, when once he gets the ball, the defenders are starting to, like, they're probably starting to have nightmares of going against Bukayo Saka. But I also am aware that he's talks between Arsenal and his agent are starting to not heat up, but have begun between them as far as getting a new contract signed. Hoping we can seal the deal. I'm pretty confident we can. but yeah, I think that's one of the players that is going to be the centerpiece for some of these championship teams that I hope we're all hoping that we're building and working towards. Saka's a star boy, man. I love that guy so much. I just hope he remains healthy, and he's going to be big for us going down the stretch because, as you mentioned earlier, we have a lot of big games coming up. 10 more cup finals, and 4 of them are against, big rivals. So we're going to need him healthy. Um, and just kind of to build off of that, I don't know if Pepe was the one who directly replaced him, but I thought Pepe had a rough match. He gave up a lot of especially on the defensive end. I mean, he wasn't a huge threat on the offensive end. I mean, he did, he does what he does, but he gave up that last free kick that could have turned into a goal, like on the worst case scenario. But I thought he struggled in his short amount of time on the pitch. So yeah, just again, just go back to my point. Like Bukayo Saka is very, very important, and we need him. We need him healthy, and we need him happy. So hopefully this all turns out well. But top performance from that guy, obviously.
Yeah, also got to give a shout out to Smith Rowe. Came in for his first start in a while. We know he's been injured recently and he's been ill, but came back into the team. Martelli was out. We know Martelli's been playing really well recently, but Smith Rowe came in, done a really good job. Your thoughts on his performance?
Smith Rowe, man, there was one clip that I saved on my phone, where he was like right at the halfway line, and then he received the ball and then passed it off, and then did like a fake, like just a little shimmy, and made the defender like fall backwards, and then he just took off and then probably got the pass again. It's beautiful to see those things, man. The little things that don't necessarily get caught. It's just incredible that you know talking about Liverpool and how they bring off these superstar players off the bench, and we are essentially like maybe 3 or 4 years behind. But the guys that we are bringing off the bench are people like Smith Rowe or Pepe or even Martinelli. Sometimes like we have like that future. Like it's great to have somebody like Smith Rowe being able to just kind of plug in and still look good, man. Credit to him. I mean, I thought he did pretty well. I know, he was also out sick for a while. So watching him play and get back on the team and look as good as he did was real encouraging. Same thing with Martinelli, getting called up to the Brazilian national team. Smith Rowe, Saka, all these guys are getting called up to the national team, and that just speaks volumes on how much progress they've made. Especially Ben White and Aaron Ramsdale too. I think we have like at least 10 guys going to do international duty, including Pepe. So just to go back on the original question, yeah, Smith Rowe is excited for him, man. I hope we can keep all these guys together because they are building something special, man, and just the way they're able to kind of read off each other. It's looking great. I love it. I think we're looking awesome.
Yeah, the future's looking bright, that's for sure. So before we talk a bit more about our last 10 games, let's talk a little bit about two of our rivals that played each other. It was Tottenham versus West Ham.
Yep.
And it finished 3-1 to Tottenham. I predicted that result. I don't know if you remember or not, but when we were doing the previews,
yeah,
I thought Tottenham were a bit too much to West Ham. I think West Ham would be a bit tired as well after playing in the Europa League, and it turned out that way. It was a close-ish game. Tottenham got their third goal quite late in the game, but it seemed, I didn't see it all, but the bits of it I did see, it did seem that Tottenham were quite dominant and they deserved to win. Did you see that one?
I didn't, but the I guess just the feedback I got or the summaries I read about, it was close early on, and then Tottenham just kind of kept their foot in the gas and essentially just took over the game at the end. It looks like West Ham is probably out of the top four race. I mean, maybe they still have an outside chance, but we can kind of maybe count them out at this point. And maybe I was also listening to another podcast, and the guy was mentioning how they should probably just start focusing on the Europa League because they are advancing pretty well in that one, and that's probably something they can realistically win, or at least compete to win. And I kind of agree. It'd be kind of nice if they just kind of gave up on the Premier League and top four aspirations and just kind of hoped to maybe try and get Europa League. And I think they're out of FA Cup. So yeah, my biggest takeaway in that match is I think it makes Tottenham. I think Tottenham has finally figured out a way to escape off of their inconsistency, and maybe we're going to start to see them as being one of the bigger threats, more so than even Manchester United. So it looks like Wolves has already been out of the picture, and I think West Ham we're going to start seeing them fade away. And I think this was that match. I mean, I think if West Ham would have won it, or at least walked away with a draw, they might have seen themselves as still part of the picture. But I think, hopefully, that's just another one bites the dust, if you will. I think they're out of it because they're like, yeah, they're starting to fall back a little bit. So we'll see. But yeah, Tottenham, I think, emerges as one of the favorites to challenge us for that top four spot.
Yeah, so now let's look into the running. So looking through the running of all the teams, and you can say that ours and Man United is more difficult than Tottenham's. They seem to have a slightly easier running than ours and Man United's, but we have the lead. We have 3 points gap to Tottenham right now with a game in hand. So we have some leeway there. So it's really important how we perform against our 4 direct rivals now in the games we have coming up. So we know we've got to play Man United here, Tottenham away, Chelsea away, and West Ham away. So they'll be our 4 most difficult games left. How many points do you think we can get out of the 12 there?
Out of against our rivals specifically?
Yeah, them 4 games, 12 points.
See, I think we can beat Man United. I think we can beat West Ham. I think we can beat Chelsea. I hate to sound like a homer, but I think we can get 12 points out of those. I think we have a very strong chance because, West Ham is I'm kind of hoping that they stop worrying about top four. I think we're better than Man United top to bottom as far as playing as a team, right? Obviously, we don't have the big names, as I keep reiterating. Like we don't have, the Ronaldos, the Varanes, whoever, Luke Shaw, these guys. But I think we're just playing better as a team. I have this feeling like, and I guess we haven't seen it with Chelsea. I feel like all the distractions are gonna kind of take a toll at some point, and so it's kind of more wishful thinking, I guess. So maybe we'll go draw, right? We'll say win West Ham, win United. I say we can draw against Chelsea, and I think we can beat Tottenham. It might be terrifying, a really close nail-biting game, but that's what, 6, 9. I think we can get 10 points, and I think a worst case is drawing against Tottenham, so that makes it 8 to 10 points. I think realistically is something we should expect from our squad. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we should look minimum for 8. So
yeah,
a couple of wins and a couple of draws. But ideally, obviously, we want 12. Can we get 12? For sure we can. We're in great form. We're able to beat all them teams. Even if it's at their ground, I'm still confident we can get the wins. But them 4 games are going to go a long way to deciding if we get the top 4. Also, just looking at the last 10 games, 6 of them are away. And, the away ones, we know 2 of them are Chelsea, Tottenham, but others are tricky as well. Crystal Palace away, Southampton away, Newcastle away. They won't be easy at all. As we've seen, Crystal Palace have done really well against Man City recently. Man City couldn't beat them there. That one finished 0-0. Southampton as well. They took points off Man City not too long ago. It was a 1-1 draw there. And Newcastle have been in a lot better form recently. They're going to be a difficult team to play as well. So it feels like it's a long way to go still. We're at that final countdown, 10 games, but you know, we got, as the players are saying, as the manager's saying, as we're all saying as fans, take it game by game. You don't want to think too far ahead. But the reason I was just asking you is because now we've got that little bit of a break before the next game, and you know, just we can kind of analyze where we're at now with 10 games to go. As I was saying, the great thing is though, we have that lead, so we have that leeway where if we do have a couple of results where they don't go our way, we're still in a good position. So hopefully, you know, because another thing as well is that our rivals are going to drop points as well. There's no way Tottenham, even if they're easier running, are consistent enough and good enough, I feel, to win all the rest of their remaining games.
Yeah, they still play Liverpool, and United still plays Liverpool too. So
yeah, that's tough, really tough games for them. Yeah, so yeah, Man United's running is quite difficult as well. I'd say like their running's a lot more difficult than Tottenham's. Probably equally as difficult as ours. We've got the home advantage on them as well when they come play us here. So confident we can beat them. So we're in a really good place that, you know, even looking at our running and saying it is a difficult running, I think that we're still big time favourites to get the top four. It's in our hands. You know, I heard Martin Keown, I don't know if you heard him, but he was talking about saying he thinks that, you know, Tottenham have a better chances of finishing in the top four than us based on the running. But I don't agree with that, because even though they have an easier running, I don't see them being consistent enough to win all their games. I think we're playing a lot better than they are right now. And we've been a lot more consistent throughout the season. And we have a gap on them. So it's a pretty big gap when you think about 3 points and a game in hand. That's a nice cushion for us to have over them. And with Man United as well, we've got a nice cushion over them. So I'm very confident.
Yeah, and you know, one thing I just want to point out that I noticed, I'm looking at the fixtures right now, and so this is going to be a big stretch of like 11 days. So Wednesday, April 20th, away at Chelsea. And then that Saturday, April 23rd, home against Manchester United. And then the next Sunday, May 1st, at West Ham. So, and Chelsea's the one that got rescheduled.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw Arteta's comments, but he was really upset that they rescheduled the Chelsea game to the Wednesday, and then Man United game was brought forward to an early kickoff on the Saturday. So, you know, the turnaround's a short time.
Yeah.
Did you see his comments?
I did, yeah. And they were kind of taken out of context, and they were talking about like, well, you only play one match a week. And I was like, well, that's not the point. The point is, you know, for teams that play Wednesday matches, they typically will play their next match on a Sunday, right? So he's just kind of saying like, why can't you just do that for us as well? Which I feel is a fair question. You know, even for this this past you know, game against Liverpool, you know, 3:00 kickoff our time as a nighttime kickoff on a Wednesday, and then 7:30 in the morning on Saturday. Like that's a very short amount of time for recovery, for travel. So I mean, I guess it's a little bit easier because you know they're going to be in London the whole time, but still, I understand his gripe, and yeah, and then even before that, well, it looks like 16th of April is when we play Southampton, and then you know 7 days later, Wednesday, the Chelsea match. The one remaining match against Tottenham hasn't been scheduled, but yeah, I understand his gripe, and I mean, obviously he's not going to get his way at this point, but I like our manager stepping up and saying like, hey, by the way, this is bullshit. And he's willing to take the fire and take the attack from the media, versus if a player would say that, it'd probably be even worse, you know. So he's sticking up for his boys, and but he's also at the same time, you know, it's not like he's going to make an excuse if we end up like dropping any of those games, right? Like, so at the very least, all he's doing is just pointing out like what's going on. Like, hey, here's something I want you to think about. Like, we're not going to use it as an excuse, but this is the reality we have to work under. So I'm not too worried about it. Like, I appreciate him like saying that. It is what it is.
What I can't understand is that we're playing Southampton on the Saturday before, so the Chelsea game, they could have put it on the Tuesday. You know, just to
same thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but just to give us a bit of extra time, because we know the two games, Chelsea and Man United, are really critical for our season. You know, they're two really big games. So, you know, maybe why not put the Chelsea game on the Tuesday just to give us a little bit more time. The Saturday one against Man United, the reason it's been made to early kickoff is because BT Sport have the rights of that one. So here we have like 2 channels that show the games. Well, 3 if you count Amazon as well, because Amazon do show some games. But the main 2 are Sky Sports and BT Sports. And BT Sports have the rights for this game, and they normally have the Saturday early kickoff games. But in this case, we could have said to BT, you guys show the game on Sunday, or like I say, just push the Chelsea game to the Tuesday. But that's something they could have done to make it a bit fair on us. But it is what it is. Like you say, you just have to get on with it. It's going to be a massive week, as you say. Them 3 games are going to go a long way. So now, before that, Crystal Palace away, Brighton at home, Southampton away. Hopefully that's 9 points there. Be tricky. Like I said, like Brighton at home, you would say quite confident. Crystal Palace away is going to be hard, like I said. Southampton as well will not be easy. But before we're in, I'm confident we can get 9 points. But then if we can go to Chelsea and beat them and then beat Man United a few days later, that's going to put us in a great place.
That would be so awesome, yeah, man, to see us, if we can get into another nice little run, man. Because again, and also here's the thing, like, even though we did struggle after that Man City game going back for a whole month, we went on a pretty solid run. So I feel like the breaks that we end up getting put us in position and we just get on a roll. And so, as you say, yeah, like emerging from the Chelsea Man United matches, 2 matches in 4 days or whatever that is, like, imagine if we can get 2 wins out of that off the bounce of like getting the previous 3 matches and getting some wins out of those, man. We'll be riding high, man. I'm excited. I think we put ourselves in the position, and now it's go time, right? Like, this is what we wanted. This is what the players wanted. I don't see them, bottling any of this. Fingers crossed, But it's an exciting time, and this is what you hope for as a fan, right?
Yeah, for sure. And when you look at the situation now with the league as well, it's so tight in terms of between Liverpool and Man City, 1 point only now. So that looks like it's going to go down to the wire. They have a big game where they're playing each other soon at the Etihad. What's your thoughts on the title race now?
Ooh, man, that's a good question. Like, I was kind of hoping that, just for like selfish sake, like maybe it was out of hands, that we would have had an easier match against Liverpool. But I mean, we've already played City and Liverpool now, so now it's, as a neutral, I want it as close as possible, because I want those matches to be as high stakes as possible. So you say they're within a point, and I mean, I think there's one, they still play each other. They still play each other, and I think now they got the same games going, so they've already played all the same matches. Geez, man, I don't know. I feel like Liverpool is on this steady run, and I think they're going to take over. But then at the same time, like, watching Man City, like, every time I watch them play, they just put on a clinic and destroy their opponents. I mean, they both did well in the FA Cup. I think, I think Man City played Southampton in the FA Cup, and it was close for a while. And then it was kind of like how it was against Liverpool. Like, they just put on, fucking Man City puts on Riyad Mahrez and Phil Foden, and you're like, oh, what the hell? And then they go on and just take over the game. And you've been playing your ass off to just simply be down 1-0, and all of a sudden the cavalry comes in, and it's just like world-class players just coming in out of nowhere, and you're just like defeated. So that's what they did. And I know Nottingham Forest played Liverpool a little bit tougher, and Liverpool came away with like a 1-0 win on that one. So, I think both of them are still playing for 3 trophies. And so, I'm looking forward to the match that they have against each other, because I think it's gonna it's hopefully gonna be a really exciting match. But they're also playing for Champions League and FA Cup. So I don't know what to expect. I just want to see some exciting soccer, to be honest with you. And I think we're gonna get it.
Yeah, for sure. This is one of the better seasons we're seeing. Looking at the Champions League draw as well, there's some great games coming up there. Chelsea are playing against Real Madrid. Potentially, it could be a Man City versus Chelsea semi-final. Bayern Munich versus Liverpool. So some really tasty matches to look forward to in the Champions League. FA Cup, as you said, semi-finals, Liverpool and Man City are playing against each other. They're playing each other in the league. So it looks like that battle's going to go right to the wire. The top four races we're saying as well. It looks like it could go to the wire. Hopefully for us, not. Hopefully, with a few games to go, we're comfortably clear in third place and we're not having to stress in the last couple of games, about getting within the top four.
No
But
kidding, man.
it's going to be all down to us now. The consistency, like I say, really happy with how things are progressing. Just to talk a little bit now about Arteta, though. Really got to give him a big shout out because one thing I've really noticed, and I'm sure you've seen it too, is the unity between the fans and the team. Arteta talked about that when he first came in. He said, he really wants to build that unity. It was hard, obviously, when he came in because this whole COVID thing happened and we didn't have fans at the stadium. But we're seeing this season, that we're really building that. You can see the way the players are celebrating with the fans after the games. You can see the way we're supporting the atmosphere. We're right behind the team, and really got to applaud Arteta for that because he's made a big effort to make sure that the players are doing more to get united with the fans, create a better atmosphere.
Yeah, I agree. I remember him saying, or actually, I saw this quote somebody posted. I think when he was still a player, and they asked him, "Hey, do you want to coach or whatever?" And he mentioned, or like, what kind of coach would you be, or what kind of team would you have? And this was like maybe back, 2013, 2014. So I don't know if he was still playing at the time, but he had said something to the effect of, he wants players that will 100% buy in, right? So that goes back to his non-negotiable thing that he talked about when he first signed on. And then one thing that stuck out in what he said was, he wants his team to play attractive football. He wants his team to play a football that the fans are going to enjoy and want to watch, and also compete and succeed in the process. So it's just, as you said, amazing to see, like, from the beginning, these are the things that he said he wanted to do, and you can see him doing it. And that's what I'm saying. I'm really hoping, against all hope, that we continue to play the way we've been playing, because we are building a fun, attractive style of football that's very easy to watch. It's fun to watch. I can recall times as I started to become a fan, and then leading up to this season, thinking, like, I used to remember thinking whether if we lost a match or if we drew a match, I wasn't gonna ever rewatch the highlights or whatever, because it was just boring. It was bad. It was ugly. This is the first season where I've noticed that I've wanted to rewatch matches for the purpose of talking, on this show, or even just to kind of see little things that I missed. But yeah, my point being, like, we are playing very attractive football and very fun. It's fun to watch and see the guys have that chi on the field. And it translates afterwards to where, people are getting mad now at Arsenal for celebrating. And back in the past, people were making fun of Arsenal for being a divided fan base who didn't know what we wanted. We also sucked, so we're just a banter club. And now we're playing good football, and we're excited about the football we're playing. So the fans are there cheering on our boys, and the players are in return giving up their jerseys, clapping them off. Even the manager's doing it. It all seems like something that they are not instructed to do, but instilled to do. Like, hey, always thank the fans, especially away, right? No matter what, no matter if you win or lose. So we were there clapping the fans off at Villa. The fans finally had a chant for Arteta, which I thought was a little, like, wow. I mean, 6 months ago we were like, Arteta out, Arteta in. What camp are you on? And now we're starting to kind of see a little bit of unity, amongst the fan base, and I think it's exciting. And I think it's a really big testament to, I think, what Arteta set as his goals, and it looks like he's essentially following through, right? Obviously, we wanted to still be in the FA Cup. We wanted to still be we're disappointed when we lost the community, like the Energy one, Carabao Cup. It hasn't been the perfect season, but we've always kept the main goal, top four as the one that we really wanted. Like that's the big prize, and playing good football. And I think we're doing that at the very least. Worst case scenario, and I don't want to put this in the universe, but worst case scenario, things go bad. At the very least, we're playing very good football, and we're setting a foundation for the future, and we're attracting players now. Players want to come play. Odegaard left Madrid to come play with us. Madrid is about to probably win La Liga again and play for the Champions League trophy. And Odegaard was willing to come and join in on this project because he believed in it. Players that leave us, Pablo Mari is someone I want to point out. Like, as much as he didn't really play when he was with us, he got sent out on loan, and he's probably going to be ending up leaving. But nothing but praise for Arteta, So just to go back to your original point, I think he's achieving all the goals, right? We're playing a good style of football, playing a good style of football. The fans are enjoying it, and we may not be competing for titles yet, but I think that's the intention, right? So credit to him, credit to the coaching staff, and just everybody buying in. And you can also, and I always like pointing this out in all the post-game interviews, it's always the same message, right? I mean, they all have their own personalities, and they're all saying, what they want to say, but they always point back to the same message. One game at a time. We haven't done anything yet, and I think it just speaks to the unity that's being built there. Everybody circling Leno and giving him, how difficult must it be for Leno to kind of he didn't do anything to lose his job, but he's still part of the team, and he still came in and did his work and got the clean sheet, and everybody surrounded him and was happy. And then Ramsdale, you're injured, and he insisted on being there on the sidelines supporting Leno. And you saw when they embrace each other at the end that there's a real unity inside the locker room and inside the dressing room, and they're all excited. And I think it's got to be a test. You got to give Coach Arteta some love and some credit for that.
Yeah, for sure. All this talk about us celebrating is it's ridiculous. I think we're just jealous, that we're doing well again. They don't like seeing us doing well again. It doesn't make sense to say that, because we want to celebrate. We just won a game. If you play like a local game down the park. So I played like cricket when I was younger, and it's a local game. It's not that important, but winning, we would celebrate because it's a nice feeling to win. So when you're winning a big game of football, right, whether or not if it's a final or it confirms you're in the top four, or it's just an early season game, whatever, it doesn't matter. You're going to want to celebrate the win, So I don't understand all this talk about we're over celebrating. Why should we not celebrate? We can celebrate as hard as we like, and we're enjoying ourselves, and we're going through some hard times. And now that we're winning, it seems like people are jealous of that, and they're like, oh, we're celebrating too much. It's just ridiculous. I don't know where all that's coming from. We should continue to celebrate. I hope we're celebrating every game to the end of the season, winning all of them. I mean, going next year. Talking about like going for the title and talking about Arteta, he was asked about his thoughts on getting a new striker in the summer.
Yeah.
And he didn't respond to that question. He responded to it in a really nice way, right? So he responded in a different angle, and he said that teams to win the Premier League need to score over 90 to 100 goals a season, right? So that was him hinting that he knows what we need.
Yeah.
We need a striker that's going to come banging the goals, and he knows, more importantly, that's going to help the team to score them 90, 100 plus goals we need to be competing and win the Premier League title. So he's got his target set high. You can see that, he's always talked about his process, and he's delivering. We cannot question anything right now. He's delivering. The football's getting better as well. We went through that period where we were struggling to create chances as much, but now the attacking play is looking a lot better, and that will come as the players play more together. They work together on the training ground, get that more experience together in the matches. We'll get better and better. I mean, we need to add We know that. We need to add a world-class striker, strengthen a couple of other positions as well. But, you know, we're not that far away from competing. Again, you know, to win the Premier League title, competing regularly in the Champions League. So, yeah, for me, Arteta's doing a great job. We go into that Crystal Palace match. You know, confidence is high. That was an important thing. That's why I was a little bit worried going into the Aston Villa match after losing against Liverpool. If we didn't win that Aston Villa game, you know, had a draw or a loss there, that could hit our confidence a little bit. When we're not in such a strong position, it puts more pressure onto the Crystal Palace game. I mean, you know, the all effect of that, but we put that straight to bed. Liverpool game was disappointing, but, you know, we fought hard against them. We're a little bit unlucky, made some mistakes, but straight away won the next game. Confidence is back. You know, going to the international break in a great position still in the league table. And then we can go into the Crystal Palace game full of confidence and hopefully, as we were saying earlier, go on a run now of winning 4 or 5 games. You know, there's only 10 games to go now. So if we can win the next 4 or 5 games, we're really close to securing the top 4, you know? So, exciting times.
Maybe just a quick preview of like what we'll be talking about next week. But as you said, it was great to see our boys bounce back, close the book on that Liverpool match, move on right away, and then come away from Villa with a big 1-0 win. Confidence is high. Everybody's happy. Everybody's going off to do international duties. The guys sticking behind are kind of maintaining their fitness or whatever. So everybody's happy. When everybody comes back, hopefully we have no injuries. Because the final stretch is going to end off or start off on a big note against Palace. And Palace, Patrick Vieira has those boys playing really well. They're not necessarily getting all the 3 points every time they play, but you know they're a tough out. You know, they do get a lot of draws. They'll sneak away a win every now and then, but they're not going to go away easy. So it's going to be away at Crystal Palace. Their supporters are wild. I've watched a few games on TV with them, and it's an entertaining watch. Wilfred Zaha is probably one of my favorite individual players to watch. So yeah, I think the final 10 matches is going to be big, and it's going to start with a big match that against Crystal Palace. That despite their position in the table, they're 12th. I don't think they're going to play like a 12th place team. So we're going to have to be ready to go from the jump, and I think we will be. But it was real crucial to end or at least start the international break with a victory. So next week will be an exciting conversation we'll have about Crystal Palace because they're a fun team. So yeah, looking forward to it, man.
Yeah, for sure, bro. Look forward to seeing you next week. That's all from us. Thank you everyone for watching. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share.